It's time for Tailgate Talk with Rodney Washington for the best football insight to get you right. Brought to you by Jimmy's Hot Dogs.
Hey, what's going on, my fellow Tailgate Talkers? We are at week 7, and don't you guys worry, the game is going to be on Saturday. In case you guys are wondering, I'm here at Monroe, here in Albany, Georgia, with Coach Herron. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I really appreciate you giving me a little time to ask you a couple questions.
Yes,
so
sir.
I want to get right to it. So it was a critical win last week, first win of the season. How are you going to be able to take that win and continue it forward? You know, this is big rivalry week, Coach.
Yeah, no doubt, man. This is a big one coming up. I know Dougherty's got a lot of hype around it. It's their alumni weekend and all of that stuff. So, but I'm just excited to be, from what I assume is like the old days or what I've been hearing, you know, where the stands are packed for the Dougherty Monroe game and all that type of stuff, man. So I know our kids are excited about it. They always get up for this one. This is one of those weeks where,
guaranteed circle.
Absolutely. Like I don't have to give them a whole speech to get them excited about it. They stay ready for this one. So, but you know, getting that first one last week was pretty big for us. We had a brutal first 4 games.
Right.
And so it was all in preparation with us having a young team. We wanted to get those guys to grow up a little faster. And so last week they showed some growth, some maturity in the big win against Pelham. They faced some adversity early on, and then they handled it well. You know, you always want to see how they're going to respond to adversity. We had a touchdown taken off the board, had a couple trips to the red zone that was moved back due to some penalties and things of that nature. So, but the guys responded, they played well, and our goal is always to go 1-0 every week.
Right.
So, that's the goal moving forward. You know, Region Champs was what we were looking for last year. We fell just short, and so this year we're still looking at the same thing. We're trying to win the Region Championship.
Right on, Coach. So what has been the primary focus of this week going up against Dougherty? How has practice been for you so far?
The primary focus has been just getting our guys prepared to play, making sure we put our guys in the best position to be successful. Dougherty does a lot of things well, especially defensively. They fly around. They really fly to the football. They're pretty fast on defense, and so that's one of those things where, you know, we're getting our guys prepared for that, prepared for the looks. Hey, this is what you're gonna see. This is how they do this. This is how they do that. Just making sure that our guys don't see anything for the first time on Friday or Saturday, rather.
Right, Coach. So I got to speak on the rivalry a little bit. You know, my grandfather went to Monroe.
Okay,
my grandma
smart
went to Monroe.
man.
My mom
Absolutely.
went to Dougherty. So you know the younger generation like that. So.
Everybody can't be perfect.
Right. So how big is it, you know, just for your fan base to be able to talk smack on your behalf to get this win? Like, how critical is that for you?
Man, it's one of those things that I try to stay out of. You know what I mean? Right. But I know it's a big deal to the city, man, and I enjoy hearing it. I go out anywhere this week with my Monroe gear on, and everybody's, hey, Coach, how y'all feel about the game? As if I'm gonna say we're gonna lose or something. You know what I mean? But obviously, you know, we play or prepare to win the game, man. So, but it's just cool to see how excited the community is just about the game and how big it is to them. And so it's one of those things we tell our kids, man. Like, there's a lot of people, whether they're sports fanatics or not, just from a pride perspective, this game means a lot to them, so you don't want to let those people down.
Right, Coach. So I got to give you the Jimmy Hot Dogs question of the day. This interview is sponsored by them. I want to tell them thank you for the sponsorship. But what did you see on film from Dougherty that jumps out to you?
Just their team speed overall. Like, they got some fast guys on both sides of the ball. So, that's the biggest thing, just their team speed, man. They fly around, man. I didn't realize they were as fast as they were. So, but that's the biggest thing that jumped out, just their team speed overall.
Right, Coach. So we kind of, it's kind of cloudy out here because we know it's going to be a little weather element. So how has the weather kind of affected this week going into this game?
So far, it hasn't really affected us. We've been able to come outside and practice every day. Now, moving forward, tomorrow, obviously, practice is canceled. All after-school activities are canceled because we're out of school. And so I think it'll be the same thing on Friday. And then, so Saturday we'll have to come up a little early, get our walkthrough in and things of that nature. Just to make sure our kids are mentally ready. And, just because we're off, assuming that we don't have power outages or anything like that, the kids are never off. The kids kind of thought they would be off today, and I'm like, nah, not this week, So we had to find a way to get the practice in, and I told the administration that, hey, give them to me earlier, I'll get them out sooner, and things of that nature. So, but we can't give them the week off, or we can't give them the day off.
Give them the day off, but
that's a big game.
What do the Tornadoes, what do y'all have to do, Coach? What has to be done, these key things for you to get this dub on Saturday?
We got to be physical. I told the kids that at the beginning of the week. We got to play fast, we got to play physical, we got to play smart. Those 3 things. If we do those 3 things, we'll be fine. We got to execute, don't turn the football over. But playing fast, physical, and smart, that's it. We got to match physicality with physicality. Dougherty wants to be physical. You know, we got to match speed with speed.
Right.
And so it's one of those things, man. It's not that we're trying to play their game. That's never the case. We just want to make sure that they understand that they're not going to just beat us doing what they feel like they do best. Like I'm kind of that Belichick mindset. I'm gonna try to take away what you do best.
Right.
And so, that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at doing, and our guys are locked in and ready to go.
When you think of this rivalry, since you've been here coaching, what is a memorable game or memorable play that just pops out in your mind, going up against the Raiders?
Last year, man, when we played Dougherty, we were down going into the fourth quarter, man. I don't remember the exact situation. I want to say we were scoreless going into the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And we came back and pulled out a win, man, 22-16. I think we were down 16-0 going into the fourth, and we came back and won 22-16 or something to that effect. So, that was a big moment for us. Just even last year with our kids being as experienced as they were, we just faced some adversity that week, and the kids brought it up today, man. It's always something happening the week that we play Dougherty. Last year we had some adversity.
Right.
Now we got the weather coming in, and so it's one of those things, man. But that was a memorable moment, man. Just being down, going into the fourth and coming back, our kids playing together and coming out with the win.
Before I give you some tailgate questions, I just thought about it. Like, if you're playing Saturday at 3, that's kind of like college football.
No
time.
doubt,
So,
no doubt.
So
Absolutely.
that's kind of a college football element.
Absolutely.
How is that, playing Saturday when, most folks, watching college football, but nah, they're going to be there watching
Absolutely,
y'all.
yeah. I think that's always good for the kids, just to get used to the time of day and the weather, and it's always hotter on Saturdays, especially playing on turf and things of that nature. So I always think that's exciting for the kids, just to kind of mimic or follow what you see on Saturday nights, because a lot of times, or Saturdays rather, because a lot of times that's their goal. That's where they aspire to be. So you hear guys talk about all the time, the players at the collegiate level that they want to emulate, and so now they get the opportunity to play on a Saturday, just like those players are doing. So I think I personally don't like Saturday games, but I like it for the reason that these kids get to experience that.
How come, Coach?
Because it takes away their preparation. And so that's why I really don't like Saturday games. I'm used to it. Being in Texas, we played on Saturdays all the time, but it takes away a day of preparation. So we got a day less to prepare for the next game, if that makes sense.
Understandable, Coach. So now I got to give you some tailgate questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you kind of a this or that type of thing. Let's say chicken or brisket.
Brisket. I tell you, I spent an extensive amount of time in Texas, so brisket.
Okay, so mac and cheese or beans?
Mac and cheese.
Okay, so let's say like you had time to tailgate, do your thing, throw some on the grill, and do what you're gonna do. What's gonna be on Coach's menu? What's on your menu?
What I'm putting on the grill?
Right on.
For me, steaks.
Okay.
Steaks and ribs. I like them both. So at every barbecue, that's what I'm putting on there: steaks and ribs. For the kiddos, hamburgers and hot dogs.
There you go. I must be one of the kids that give me hamburgers and hot dogs. But Coach Herron, I'm trying to think of the last question I was gonna ask, but it was kind of a tailgate. Oh no, I got it. Let's say you was about to watch a game or something like that. Would you rather be there, in the elements of the game, or would you rather be at home, chilling at the crib, sipping a tall glass of water, watching the game?
No doubt. I like being in the elements of the game, man. There's nothing like college football atmosphere. And so if I have the opportunity to go to a game, I've actually been to several this season. I prefer to be there. Just the craziness of the fans, and you got pyrotechnics, and you got all this stuff on the jumbotron, and it's just a great feeling, man. And that's the type of stuff that gets people excited, it gets the fans excited. So I prefer to be there, in addition to all the tailgating stuff that's happening outside the stadium.
Speaking of excitement, the whole city, Albany, is going to be excited for this game. Once again, it's going to be at Saturday at 3 o'clock at Hugh Mill Stadium. Thank you again,
man.
Coach.
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
My fellow tailgate talkers, hey, game time.
Well, let's see what we got going on. Pretty good, man.
Brought to you by Jimmy's Hot Dogs.